Hey guys, so let's just jump into this chapter because right out of the gate, the chapter 300 pretty much dives right into this, right into the state of how of the world, and yeah, it's pretty bad, like really, really bad. There's like if you just look at the first few pages of this chapter, there's barely anyone left in order to fight back. And the sad thing is that the current state of the world as it stands has played out exactly how we knew it would from pretty much the very moment that we as readers were paying attention to My Hero Academia. So many people claiming to be heroes had eventually buckled under the weight of their own fear, that to the point that heroes barely exist anymore. And because of that, I'd say, well, it is extremely fucked up to how in order to how like average citizens have been forced to take up arms and generally engage in combat with villains. It was, again, it's kind of the expected from a society of people that had only grown more and more dependent on the protection of the hero system. And I hate to say it, but that 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 defamation of All Might's statue, saying "I am not here," I hate to say it, but again, he kind of deserves that. Because, well, I hate to keep harping on it, for however good his intentions were, All Might ultimately contributed a lot to the current state of the world just by putting himself on that high pedestal without ever thinking of the damage he was causing. He was causing below the surface. Like everything that had made up Hero Society was always surface level. There and what's boiled and what was below the surface is now what's pretty much become the reality of the situation. Like this was an unavoidable, this was completely unavoidable if the hero system had just bothered to freaking understand what was going on, and or anyone for that matter involved. And a lot of and honestly, like a lot of the best, but honestly, the best part about this chapter for me is, or at least the best part about this whole first section of the chapter, is the perspective we're pretty much seeing it through from. Like it's the person the person whose eyes we're seeing all this from is through Stain's eyes. We're seeing all this happen through his perspective, and honestly, even though he's been portrayed as a villain up to this point, I believe more than ever that the stage has been set for him to become the revolutionary in this, the most powerful revolutionary figure in this current situation, because the stage is absolutely set for Hero Society to be rebuilt, but it can't be done without an acknowledgement that the old ways didn't work. And Stain is kind of in a prime position now where in Heroes, who's ever left and who's ever like remaining as heroes in order to fight back against the villainy that sprouted, those people have to listen to him now. Like it go this is the society that was created from pretty much Stain. This was the society that was created from pretty much like Stain's ideology, obviously, but it's a society he warned them about as well. So it's they have to listen. They have no choice. Also, with Hero Society in the state that it's in, there are certain key players that I really want to know the current status of, like Coda and the Pussycats for one, and just and pretty much like anyone that Izuku had bonded with, well, pretty much throughout the series, even where pretty much all the students of Class 1B. Where's freaking where's freaking where's what's his name? Where's where are all the teachers for that example? Like, where are all the teachers that are left? Are they alive? And and where's Shinzo even? Like of all the students, I want to know where of where he is now, of where of all the students, the one I want to know of where they are now is Shinzo. Like, is he? How is he? Because I feel, because one thing I've been keeping in the back of mind was Shinzo, honestly, and this is something I'm going to be discussing a lot when the anime returns. But Shinzo, I think, is pretty much at this point the is pretty much going to be like, oh, is going to be like the pretty much successor to pretty much Aizawa. Like, Shinzo, I think at this point is going to be the one to carry like Aizawa's legacy on his shoulders, I think. But yeah. But yeah, there's so many people who like there's so many people who Horikoshi is kind of left in the dark, and I want to know where they all are right now. Like, there's so many players that haven't been even touched upon. He's just kind of giving us an idea of like of the state of, right now. Horikoshi's just giving us the state of the world, and what I really like that, I want to know where pretty much all of our boys are, where all our peeps are. Where's Class 1A? Where's Class 1B at? Where's Shinzo? Where are the teachers? Just where's everyone in this whole debacle? Um, and yeah, obviously we need to talk about Endeavor in this chapter, because the interesting thing about his emotional breakdown specifically is that even though he has changed and we've seen his growth throughout the series, he has also done it while still keeping his emotions in check, so to speak. Like, he's never let his emotions like pretty much he's rarely if ever let his emotions like compromise his objective or what he feels he needs to do. But now, with everything that happened all at once, he's basically dropped all of that in favor of pure repentance. Like in this chapter, Endeavor was just purely like, I cannot be forgiven. I'm a blight on humanity. I have committed so many sins. I don't even know as to why I'm alive. And like that was basically his mindset, which is good. I'm not even denying that. Like, I think it's a necessary like step in order for Endeavor to just kind of let all these emotions out. Like, it wasn't healthy for him to keep all these things in. But at the same time, he's in a state where, but at the same time, neither was he really asking himself what he needs to do now to move forward. And obviously, I love how the whole family, and then includes our favorite MILF Mama Ray show up to just chastise him for wallowing in his own self-pity. But even more than that, I'm curious just what exactly Ray has to say about Toya, because just from the moment Dabi revealed himself, you could tell just from her reaction in the moment that Ray seemed like she knew something about Toya's death that no one else, even Endeavor knew. So that just begs the question of what she knows, and I can only assume we're going to go into more details about Toya's backstory next week. So yeah, we're probably headed into a flashback. Oh, and also, and actually, I will say this too. One thing I'm glad we're getting all this stuff with Endeavor and whatnot, but I'm wondering as to what they're gonna do with basically what Horikoshi's plans are for Izuku, because as of right now he just kind of dropped off the whole thing with Izuku. He just kind of dropped off the whole thing with Izuku, that Izuku's in a coma, but we haven't really seen what's going on there. But I'm sure hopefully he's gonna touch on that soon as well. Also, with Endeavor's whole family showing up, including Ray, I really like how this kind of sets up a very interesting like situation where let's play out a little scenario in our heads for a minute. Let's just say that Endeavor, once he gets out of the hospital, he has to hold like a press conference in order to address his future as a hero. But this time, unlike previous times where he's held press conferences and whatnot, he's not going to be alone. He will have his family's support with him. So like even if society won't necessarily fully accept him as like a new number one hero after what they've heard, I think his family is going to be there in order to back him up and say, well, pretty much for now, in order to say please trust him. He's you have no idea as to what he's suffered, what he's done. Like I think they're definitely going to be there for emotional support and to help back him up and whatnot. But on top of that, though, I think Endeavor and Shoto really need to have a talk as well, because Endeavor is definitely going to be a lot more protective of him going forward after this whole thing. But at the same time, Shoto is also just as determined as his father to stop Toya. So they're going to find some common ground on how to deal with the situation, because Shoto definitely is not letting this one go for sure. He's at this point, like Shoto is kind of plagued with the idea that he sees way too much of his old self in Toya, and just on that fact alone, Shoto is driven enough in order to stop his brother. So yeah, there's no getting away from the fact that that Shoto needs to face his brother. So it's just how Endeavor is going to accept that kind of thing. But yeah, guys, that's all I got for this review. If you enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Crunchyroll. Death Not of Enemy, signing off. Later, guys.